All right, here we go. Game 5, NBA Finals. OKC wins. Jalen Williams drops 40. Shea drops 31. I mean, overall, when you look back at this game, you can kind of see how this game was going to go throughout the first quarter, really. When I saw OKC starting to get the better of exchanges on offense, and they were also forcing a ton of turnovers in the first quarter. I kind of knew that OKC was going to win this game. Now, Indiana is a really good team coming down from however big the lead may be, right? So, OKC, they kind of kept Indiana in the game, even though OKC was the better team. They were playing real well. Indiana still had some chances to be able to come back and kept the game relatively close for the most part, right? They were never down 20. They were down by 18 the most. And OKC played very well. Jalen Williams had himself a game. Him and Shea were just that much better than the Indiana Pacers. And that's all it was. Your star player showed up and showed out. So it was just, for me, right, as I'm watching the game, it became very, very, very clear to me that Tyrese Halliburton, for offensive purposes, right, he's a great facilitator. He is a great passer of the ball. He's a really good ball handler. But his offense, in terms of just being a scorer, needs a ton of work. And the fact that he wasn't as dominant as he could have been is very surprising. And it's also very annoying being an Indiana Pacers fan because you're like, damn, if he was just a bit more consistent on offense, a bit more selfish, I guess, in his offensive attack, he could have been able to get some more things done. Now, OKC's defense was really good on him, but still, you would like to see him be a bit more aggressive. And OKC, man, what can you say? They're a really good team, and they played up to it tonight. Game 6 was going to be very key. Very key. And I can't wait, OKC in 6 is a pretty good prediction. Um, for me, Indiana put up a really good fight. They were still in the game for the most part, right? They were never truly out of it until the ending, of that fourth quarter. And but OKC's just better. They are just the better team. And when it matters most, the star players for OKC are showing up. And they're showing out. Shea dropping 30. Jalen Williams had a fantastic game. You also had some big threes, some clutch shots from other players. Like Cason Wallace had 3 threes. Aaron Wiggins had 4 threes. Jalen Williams had 3 threes. Lou Dort had 3 threes, right? Wiggins and Wallace combined for 25 points off the bench. That was beautiful. That was amazing. So, the field goal percentages, they shot 42% from the field, 43% from 3. Man, I'm looking at Halliburton, 0 for 6 from the field. Yeah, and also the turnovers. They forced a ton of turnovers. This is what OKC does. When you play into their trap of that pressure defense and then you start passing the ball, they're there in the passing lane every single time. And it's very hard to beat them when they're acting and playing like that. So, man. I kind of feel good a little bit because it is pretty validating to know that OKC is winning because I did pick them. But I have to give a lot of credit to the Pacers because they pushed this series to, you know, more games than I even anticipated that. I truly underestimated them, and they give OKC their toughest challenge because, in my personal opinion, looking at it from a newer perspective, right? I don't think the Knicks could have done this with OKC. I think OKC, looking back on it now, they would have had such an easier time with the Knicks, and I think it could have been a worse beatdown if they played another team. So the Pacers are pretty good, really good team in this finals, but they're just not that good enough. Not that good enough. And OKC is that good enough. So we'll see in Game 6. Shout out to Jalen Williams. I mean, he put the team in his Duffy, and it was fantastic. The team overall played fantastic. They had more threes. They forced a lot of turnovers, and they took advantage, right? When they force those turnovers, you take advantage, you score, right? They're not turning the ball over off of a turnover. They're not missing off of a turnover. They're making it. So shout out to OKC. I'll see them in Game 6, just like I see you guys in Game 6. Game 6 is what? Wednesday? Wednesday. So potentially OKC could close it out. Game 6 on Wednesday. So see you guys then. In the meantime, go watch all of our other videos. Go watch our other reactions. And yeah, we'll see you guys for Game 6. Peace.